Hey, what's going on? Daniel from these seven C's. Today I'm gonna bring something that I've really been excited for. Actually, this is not an unboxing or a first impression. I've actually been carrying this guy. This is the Les George Talos DLC in that Magnacut. Now, this is the latest run from Les George. I believe the Talos model has been around for a while, at least for a decade or even longer. But there was definitely a long period of time where he stopped making these. So, I honestly didn't see these come up until more recently when he dropped several batches of these. And this knife has been a phenomenal knife. Now, just before I get into it, a quick comparisons. You got the Koenig Arius non-flipper. In terms of length, definitely the Arius is a little bit longer. And then I have here the Chris Reeves large Sebenza 21. Now, between these two are definitely a lot more comparable in terms of length. Of course, the Sebenza 21 will be a little bit slimmer profile, but all that to say, the Talos is definitely a larger blade for sure. So if you're looking for like a small kind of pocket friendly, this may not be the best option, but I gotta say that it's still a fantastic EDC. It still rides in the pocket very well. It is on the heavier side. I don't have a scale to actually weigh it, but just feel in hand, it definitely feels over 4 ounces. You can see right off the bat there is no what do you call it, like weight reduction pockets on the inside. It's just two flat slabs of titanium that's been chamfered, and it feels very good in the hand. You can see that there's all these kind of curves going on, and all the edges have been contoured. Let me close the blade real quick. So as you can see, all the edges has these really large chamfers, so it feels very, very comfortable in the hand. There is no like sharp edges. There is no like hot spots in the hand. I could hold this all day long and use it and cut with it, and I would feel totally comfortable. As you can see right here, right off the bat, the action on this is just phenomenal. This is riding on phosphor bronze washers, and honestly, I've handled hundreds of knives, and this is the best phosphor bronze washer action I've ever felt. And Les George is really known for that. I've had the V-Set, and that also had amazing action. You could check out the video of that knife in my archives. But man, just I don't know what Les George does with his phosphor bronze washers, but he must do something, because for instance, I have the large Sebenza 21, and this is broken in, right? And this is smooth after, I don't know, years and years of using it and carrying it and opening, closing it. Definitely very smooth. But this only took like a week to break in, and this is smoother than the Sebenza 21, at least in my opinion. As you can see, I could easily thumb flick it out. I mean, very little effort. Boom. Rock solid lockup. I mean, this is really a no frills EDC. There's no fancy like lockup mechanism going on. This is rocking that tried and true frame lock. There's no lock bar insert. Yep, there's no lock bar insert. It's not riding on bearings. Nothing fancy. It doesn't have a 3D milled clip. It's as basic and as straightforward as a knife can be these days, and I still absolutely love it. And I really like that. Really, Les George's design DNA is really all about that. He's not trying to do anything crazy fancy. Maybe if you start to go into his custom stuff, you'll see more of that craziness happening. But in terms of the features, it's very basic, very straightforward. And I think that's really what his design language is all about. He wants us to use these as tools more than pocket jewelry. So he's really going to create and design knives based around that what would you call it, aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? Blade is absolutely dead center. This knife is so easy to take apart and maintain. As you can see, just these two body screws. I believe that's T8s. and that is a T15 if I'm not mistaken. I love that. And of course this is a captured pivot design, so you don't have to worry about that going all crazy. This knife was really just easy to take apart and clean up and put back together, and I love that. I love when the knife makers have, you know, the end users in mind, and I think he really understands that, yeah, we're gonna be using these and we're gonna have to take care of them, so it's just really easy to take care of. The D10 on this is just beautifully done. As you can see, it's boop, there you go. It's very dialed in. You know, I'm not getting any detent lash. It's just really just dialed in. That's why I could do that. This action is amazing. Yeah, it is very crisp. Boom, very crisp. Yeah, aside from that, I love the stonewash finish on this. It really gives it that industrial kind of tool aesthetic. And of course, this is rocking the latest Magnacut. I believe he used to use a lot of the what do you call it? Carpenter's XHP, CTS XHP, but now he's transitioned over to Magnacut, which I think is a great decision. Magnacut is it seems like a really great all-around steel as an EDC. So there you go, George Magnacut, and that's all the billboarding you get on this knife. That's it, you know. And I did notice that you can, I guess, switch out these thumb studs. You know, you just need, I think, a Torx, and then, you know, you unscrew it and it'll come out. But yeah, other than that, is really straightforward. Nothing else to really write home about. This is just a very solid EDC option. This is going for around, I would say, I think the standard variant, like just the stonewash like finish, is like 450, and then something with the DLC, I think it's closer to 500. But the challenge is not so much the price. I think the price is very solid considering that there's a lot of knives out there nowadays. The challenge is just really hard to get, to be honest. These things, once they drop, they sell out so quick. And even on a secondary, these don't pop up that often, especially like when you have something a little bit extra special like this DLC you know, finished blade. Yeah, you don't really, it's really hard to get. So, you know, if you ever see one on the secondary and you're able to, you know, to afford it, I'd say like just snag it up, because they don't really last that long on the secondary either. But aside from that, oh man, this knife has just been phenomenal. It's been a really great cutter. As you can see, it is not a full flat grind, but almost like a 3/4, and then it kind of flattens up here at the bevel. You know, he did kind of put these two kind of swedges, so this tip is very, very pointy. But you know, considering that the blade stock is not like super thin, like, so for example, you know, I bring out, I would say the Koenig, Arius, and the Talos is very comparable in terms of blade stock. Let me see, in terms of the Sabenza 21, definitely the 21's thinner, but not by that much, right? So it is not like the thinnest blade stock, but this thing has been an amazing cutter. This thing just slices through cardboard like butter. I don't know if it's because it's this DLC coated blade or just, yeah, just overall, it's such a great EDC. I can't say enough great things about this knife. I don't really have any complaints, to be honest. I mean, this is really a tried and true design. You know, nothing fancy going on. You know, just fits very good in the hand. Now, one thing I do want to note, I think there's been slight changes from the original Talos to this new kind of variant. I think the handle profile down here is a little bit different from what I've seen. I might be mistaken. Aside from that, I don't know if there's been any other like major changes going on, to be honest. And I feel like Les George, he typically doesn't make these like monumental changes. I think he kind of falls in line more with what, like, maybe what Spyderco does, or what Chris Reeve does, is they make these really small incremental improvements over a long period of time. And I think this Talos is a great example of that. If you do like a side-by-side comparison of the original to this Talos, you may see some very small differences, but overall it's very, very similar. And I love that. I think Les George really knows that the Talos is a tried and true design. So I don't, if he was to make some radical like changes to it, you might have to just call it another name. You know what I'm saying? But there you go. This is my review of the Talos. This thing has been phenomenal. Just really sets the bar in terms of how to execute a simple, straightforward knife that can be used every single day. Feels very good in the hand. I think it looks phenomenal. I love the silhouette of this knife. The action is just phenomenal for Foster bronze washers. Very easy to deploy, as you can see here. I could slow roll it. I could thumb flick it, no problem. I could even probably spidey flick it if I can. There you go. Yeah. So there you go. Love to hear your thoughts. If you have any questions, drop them down below. And if you enjoy what you're seeing, feel free to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. All right. Have a great day now.